Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. I hope you're doing well. And this video here is in reaction to some tragic news, pretty much the death of the music journalism publishing titan known as Pitchfork Media. While operationally the outfit isn't completely gone at this point, it might as well be, because we recently got the announcement that Pitchfork is essentially going to be broken down and folded into GQ, which honestly you might as well be announcing that the site is shuttering forever. Because of course this announcement coincided with layoffs. I mean, there's so many things about this change that just read like the death of the brand. Like, what's going to happen to all of the female and even queer readership Pitchfork has built up over the years? I mean, it may have been the minority, but still, that's been built up over the years. Are they going to be going to GQ, a men's fashion magazine still, I believe, at this point? If that's not currently the case, that's certainly the perception I'm sure most people still have of it. They're going to be going to GQ for music reviews. In this article on Resident Advisor, at least for now, Pitchfork's reviews editor Jeremy Larson says he expects to keep publishing reviews on the Pitchfork site itself. However, will those reviews remain as open or as widely spread as they have in the past? Because recently there have been reports of people getting an email wall notification if they're not, handing over their information, signing in to see the content they clicked on. Plus, getting folded into GQ and having so many people let go from the site is undoubtedly going to lessen the amount of coverage or actual article by article output the Pitchfork is going to have every month. For its era, Pitchfork is, sort of the Rolling Stone, the Spin magazine, the cream for its time period. And certainly those brands, those outlets are still out and about. Even Cream, which is coming back for some reason. But like with Pitchfork, now that's just kind of gone, and that's just going to be folded into fucking GQ. I just have a feeling we're going to be effectively flushing all of this history down the toilet. This long and storied history of the indie scene during the transition of the information age that frankly no website, no outlet documented better than Pitchfork and had more of an influence on than Pitchfork. Now look, in reaction to this news, there have been a range of different comments from people who are rightly and understandably pissed to be out of a job now, supporters of these writers who are mad on their behalf, supporters of the Pitchfork union that are obviously devastated. All of that sucks and is completely unfair, and obviously it would have been preferable to see an outcome where the union actually did get a foothold, but that just didn't happen. I'll say personally, I am kind of sad and dismayed about this change, about this shift, maybe not specifically for Pitchfork's sake, but really for what it means for music journalism, for text-based journalism from this point forward. As, again, Pitchfork is getting folded into GQ. We've seen people who were on the editorial side of Bandcamp at one point getting let go recently as well. Vice recently filed for bankruptcy. Complex Music doesn't quite have the impact that it once did. And you could say the same for some other notable publications as well. And while I understand, as somebody who saw the benefit of a platform like YouTube, and if you're somebody also who is younger and watches my content or watches the content of music commentators that are also on YouTube or maybe on Twitch or maybe on TikTok or Instagram, you might look at some of these platforms and think, who cares? What's the big deal? Like, fuck it, I don't follow it. Yeah, I get it. I understand that sentiment. Simultaneously, there is a value to not having everything live on fucking Instagram. There is a value to having actual researched articles on their own website, on their own platform. I think it is important that not every piece of information that you read and consume come from an influencer, and I say this as somebody who could be considered an influencer. And look, while I and Austin do put a lot of research into these videos when it is required, and there are a lot of great YouTubers and video-based content creators out there who do the same, often when I am or when Austin is doing research for the content that we do, we're looking up articles. We're not fucking looking at other YouTubers. It's just a great and efficient way of divulging information to people, reading, the written word, fact-checking in writers' rooms with editors and the like. While certainly that's not a guarantee that whatever you put out is going to be amazing or bias-free, it is one of the best ways to do it, and I worry that the current age of social media-based commentary is kind of slowly killing the business model that stuff was barely thriving on, barely hanging on by a thread to begin with. Now, look, I'm not laying the blame on this at my feet or some TikToker's feet, or even at the audience's feet, or furthermore at the feet of wokeness, as I have read a lot of brain-dead takes online about Pitchfork folded and nobody cared about it anymore because it went woke. Because truly and honestly, the reason all of this is happening, it's just another chapter in the ongoing tale of dog-eat-dog capitalism. Like, clearly there's money floating around in this industry, but the thing is, Pitchfork, what it represented at one time, the writers who deserved to get better pay there, the writers' room that deserved more support. Yeah, all of that means essentially nothing to Condé Nast and Advanced Publications. They just kind of used the site as a fucking billboard for their ads. And outside of being a place to put advertisements, yeah, Pitchfork means nothing to them, zilch. So of course there's like no real consideration for what the website is, was, holds, long-term. If they can make more money or save money by folding it into something else, they're going to do it. But look, in fairness, it could be argued that Pitchfork's coverage toward the end of Ryan Schreiber's tenure on the platform was not great. It was kind of going downhill. The site was kind of progressively losing its voice and its direction a bit. There could have been an opportunity to maybe sell it off to people who would have operated it with better intentions, that would have cared a bit more about the music and the indie scene and so on and so forth. But unfortunately, that did not happen. It was sold off instead to Condé Nast. And now this is currently where we're at. And while I love what I do, I love that you guys watch, and I'm glad that you think it matters. I'm glad that I have the opportunity and the ability to spread the word about artists and albums that might not get the shine they would have gotten otherwise. It still remains that I am just one guy. I can't do everything. I can't do it all as hard as I try. While there is a world out there of music influencers on a variety of different platforms who are all doing their own thing and, curating to their liking as well, I guess it remains to be seen as to whether or not this new model and approach to things is actually going to do us better in terms of taste making, in terms of breaking the algorithmic stranglehold that is on so many people's musical diet these days. And while sure, there are people out there who are right to hate Pitchfork, just selling it off to some faceless corporation and potentially burning the entire history of the platform along with that, it could be a throwing the baby out with the bathwater type thing that might not necessarily be for the best in the long run. Those are my thoughts on this. Let me know in the comments what are yours. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up with a link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Pitchfork, forever.